piratey port. You gentlemen are completely on the up and up, though. You would never resort to any kind of illegal activities. Anyway, your captain really loves you, which is exactly why he has you guys all manning the bilge pumps while the rest of the crew weathers this storm.
Huh. Mine's not
So,
working.
you gentlemen are down in the hold, manning the bilge pumps, and before you went below, you noticed that there were like 30-foot swells coming up and lapping against the side of the boat. It was not looking good out there. You're damn near sideways where you're at, and it's loud. It's really loud. The wind is howling. It's got to be going like 80 miles an hour. It's scary.
Man, these seas be rough.
Do we know where we're going?
No, your captain's been pretty quiet about that. There was a some kind of wealthy, so and so who boarded the vessel at Nassau, and your captain was hired to take him somewhere. But for the past 3 weeks, you guys have just been sort of combing your way up and down across the Bahamas, looking for an island with uh, a rock formation with three stones jutting out of the sea. Um, you haven't spotted anything, but in this weather, you can't see shit. So you're having a hell of an evening.
Yeah, well, we could have passed it by now, and we'd have no idea.
Indeed.
Well, good thing I'm not driving.
So you're all soaked with filthy bilge water, um, and you're about turned sideways, and it's sloshing all over the place. And you hear the sound of thunder clapping outside.
This is one hell of a tack the captain's taken.
Uh, and then, as the bulkhead in front of you starts to splinter open and shrapnel starts to fly, you realize maybe that wasn't thunder after all.
Ah, rocks.
Uh, no, it seems like somebody's shooting at you.
Oh, they're shooting. Oh no.
I go up one deck to where the guns are, and I take a look out through one of the holes.
Okay, you
I
can
would like
go.
to start trying to fix the hole.
Okay, yeah. So normally this portion of the ship would be underwater, but because of the tack you're on, it's actually been lifted way up, and you could see outside. And there's another ship out there, much larger. It looks like a galleon.
And
Is there a flag visible?
You don't have time to look. So Pete, you start to rush up the stairs. You should see there's another hole up there, and several of your shipmates have been splattered across like the deck. Um, and there's something very strange happening. On both levels, you see there's piles of bone, um, and they start to stand up.
hmm, why are the piles of bone?
I'm more concerned about why they are getting
So I
up.
think we need an initiative roll. As several more like thunderous claps start to just shred the hull.
Remind me, initiative is just an agility check?
It's like a D6 roll, and if you do 4 or higher, you guys go first. I just need one roll from the party.
I can do it. I'm pretty quick, and I'm the one who's up here.
No,
Alright.
it's just a flat D6.
No, it's agility. I'm pretty agile.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a d6 plus my agility, right?
I believe that is correct.
There you go.
This is acceptable.
They don't call me lobster legs for nothing.
Okay, so at this moment, up on deck with you, there are two of these sort of charred black skeletons, which are armed. They have like cutlasses and tattered, like smoking clothes because they've literally just been launched out of a cannon.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I can tell that, but that's good to know.
You could definitely tell that they've just been launched out of a cannon, uh, because that's what's making holes in your ship.
Oh, they're covered in soot.
I guess, well, I'm not sure I would be so used to anybody surviving that.
Surviving is an interesting word.
I mean, if I saw somebody who looked like that, I might as soon guess that they'd been struck by lightning or something.
Yeah, but they kind of smell like sulfur, so.
Still, could be lightning.
Anyway, there are two of these gentlemen who seem to have noticed you. There are several more below decks, but Pete, since you were the fastest one, we'll handle you first. What are you doing?
Okay. Well, let's see. I guess I'll attack one of these skeletons. How does that work?
Did you not play Morkborg with us before?
I was, but I've forgotten how to.
He
What-
only played a little bit.
Yeah, like barely.
Fair enough.
Is it just a d20? Do I have to use strength, or can I use agility, or?
It depends on what kind of weapon you're using. For like a
Ah.
melee weapon, yeah, it's strength.
Okay.
Also, wouldn't it just be D6? Because I think most of these are D6s. If not all.
It's definitely a
I believe
D20 for the
it's-
ability checks.
Yeah, it's a D20.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
test, right? So it's a D20 plus your ability score, so whatever your strength score is, and then you're gonna need to beat a 12 to hit the guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's. Where does it say if I have a ranged weapon or not?
The top right.
Uh, okay, well, is there a second field if you have a melee weapon, or I mean, if you have a ranged weapon, or is that it?
No, I think it's like one. It'll list them all. So if there's only one, it's just one.
Okay. I think I only have one, but I don't know. So if it's a melee weapon, I gotta use my strength. It's just a d20. So I take a swing at him with my Marlin spike.
Okay, you hit him.
Which is an interesting thing to use as a weapon, but I guess that's what I have.
That's what you have.
Yep.
Roll
And
damage.
then yep, and it's just the die listed next to the weapon.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. The skeleton scatters across the deck.
All right. And now if I attack and I guess I spent my turn moving up here, can I do anything else? Like, do I have an item interaction?
I mean, that's not really prescribed. So you've done pretty much what you could do, but if you have like a little something you want to do, you can. Also, I would say most of that movement was before combat, so you could probably move a little more.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to do was see if I could like pick up part of one of his legs and throw it overboard. Just like pitch it as hard as I can.
Sure. You can grab like his femur and just toss it through one of the gun ports.
Yep. Oh yeah, right. I'm out on the top deck. Yeah, I grab his femur and I push it out one of the gun ports, and that is it for me.
Okay. So, gentlemen, uh, there are 4 more of these skeletal fuckers who have reassembled themselves down there in the hold with you.
How can you describe this bilge pump we've been operating? Like how does one of these pumps work?
I feel like it's basically like a pump in a well. Uh, it has a big lever that you push like up and down. If you do stop pumping, you're pretty sure you're gonna sink.
But that also means we would ride lower and be harder to hit.
Yes.
Is there a reverse button on the bilge?
No, but you could definitely just stop pumping.
Yes, I'm going to stop pumping, and I've got a belaying pin, and I'm instead going to kind of look around and be like, the dead, and I'm going to try to use my deadhead feature.
Okay. Tell me what you're doing.
So I have to make a spirit check. It's a DR12. If I pass, it basically I summon a flying ghostly skull uh, and deals damage. It ignores armor and deals 2d4.
I like it.
It then dissipates after it deals damage. If I fumble it, it attacks me instead.
Suboptimal.
So
Yes.
if you fumble, you die.
So I just barely summon it,
Okay, that's fine. That works.
and I just have it like hit the closest skeleton.
Okay. You can hit the closest skeleton.
Bonk.
Okay. It flies into the skeleton at like Mach 5 and shatters him all over the place.
My dead are more powerful than your dead.
Their kung fu was not strong.
3 more down there with you.
And then I run for the stairs to get up to the gun deck.
Okay.
We need
Well-
to return fire.
I'd like to bonk one with my stick.
You may.
I
This
have
is
a 10-foot
successful.
reach, so I don't need to get close to him.
Okay. You wallop him. An arm comes off. But he is not deceased. Or not re-deceased, I guess.
And then I'll
Do
position
me a
myself.
favor. Roll a D2. I want to see if it's his weapon arm. A 2 is his weapon arm. Okay. So he loses his left arm. He's still holding his sword.
Yep. And then I'd like to position myself at the stairs, so Wilhelm can get past me, but I'll block any skeletons that try to ascend.
Okay. You're going to move to the stairs and hold the line.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
So then I'll move to the stairs, and then I'll take it. I'll take a shot at one of the uninjured skeletons down here with us.
Okay. You do not hit him.
A shame. Musk goes off, lots of smoke and thunder, but a whole bunch of
You,
nut.
you basically just fire straight through his rib cage. Doesn't,
Yeah,
nothing to hit.
curses. And then I start to reload.
Okay. Their turn?
I think that's all of us.
Okay. So this hasn't been a broadside, it's just been this rolling fire. You hear more cannons. Some of them might even be yours. Um, but you hear wood shattering and people screaming above you, and blood is trickling down through the cracks in the boards. The three skeletons in the hold are going to move to attack the nearest target, which is going to be Sent, who is playing. What is that? Wilhelmin? I can't read that.
Yes. I just
I'm just
call
gonna
it
call him
voodoo.
Wilhelm.
Wilhelm.
He screams a lot.
Fair.
So those are defense rolls on your part.
All right. How does that work?
It's sort of the same thing. You need a 12 to succeed.
And I take it I'm adding agility?
I don't remember. I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay. And how many do I need to roll?
There's 3 attacks coming.
Okay, dokie.
So 2 hits. Roll 2d6.
All right. So it says that my clothes have minus D2 damage. So I would roll the 2d6
And
2
then you can
times minus 2
you
D.
could subtract a d2 from each one, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So these are the 3 down by us?
Yes.
I thought he was behind me.
Well, you blocked the space and then he ran up.
Yeah. So that they would attack me and not him. So he was behind me on the stairs is what the goal
Well,
was.
then he should have moved first.
Apparently they didn't like me.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wait,
that,
hold on. No,
what?
no. It's 1d6
Oh, 1d6.
each. So it's only 1d6. It's 2d6 total.
Ah,
He took
okay.
2 damage then.
Okay. They stab at you, I guess, as you run away, and I'll say at this point you scoot behind cover in the form of your compatriot on the stairs. Clear up that miscommunication.
It's all good.
Okay, so there is still one at the top of the stairs on the deck with you. So
Defense roll.
yeah, Pete, defense roll.
And that's agility.
It is.
Hey, all right.
Okay, he trips over the other femur, and he slides around in a goofy fashion for a moment, but he manages to right himself.
So hang on, I just want to understand the mechanics. If you roll higher than a 12, you don't take damage.
Yep.
So why did Wilhelm take 2 attacks when he only got hit once? He rolled a 15, 18, and 11, correct? So only 11 would hit him.
I don't know, man. I just goofed up. Don't worry about it.
I want to make sure for like that's confusing now.
But it works out, and I misheard what he said to roll for damage, so you know it's all cleared up in the end.
I think his brain looked at it and went, AC 12, 2 hits.
That's exactly what my brain did, and it's not the first time it's done that either. I definitely know it did that during the first Morkborg session, like more than once too. Mostly in the first half, though. Give me a bit. I'll get to it. All right. So there's definitely more skeletons. above you. You can hear a lot of bad things happening. Um, People don't seem happy. Uh, there is definitely water uh, starting to get into the hold again. It is not substantial yet, but it is getting that way. Uh, the holes that they have put in there, like the hole that first skeleton came through, you were looking through. It's not underwater, but it's nearly to the water line. Um, yeah. Next round.
I think I went first originally, so I'll go first again.
Yeah, you guys decide that amongst yourselves. I don't care who goes first.
Yeah, I think it's the same as Star Wars. It's just our initiative, so we can swap up.
Ah, I enjoyed running things in that order. So if somebody else wants to go,
Ah, go ahead.
okay. You said these pirates were armed, or these skeletons were armed. What are they armed with?
They have cutlasses.
Excellent. I drop my Marlin spike and pick up the cutlass from the one I destroyed.
Okay. Or technically, they have scimitars. They're D6 weapons.
The scimitar, cutlass.
I mean, it just depends on where your source material for your pirates is from. They're basically the same sword.
They are statistically the same sword anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it matters for me because I specifically need a cutlass.
Okay, you can have a cutlass.
All right, excellent. Now that I have a cutlass, I immediately become significantly better at fighting.
Nice.
I attack the remaining skeleton with my cutlass.
Okay. You can hear his teeth chattering in fear.
Yep.
You hit him.
And I would have succeeded anyway, but my DR for this attack is now only 10.
Nice.
Additionally, I do +1 damage.
Also nice.
Because there is only one of him.
Ah, the dueling thing.
The dueling thing.
Okay. Yeah. You sword in him, and he thinks, oh, he's got you now, and he does that thing where he like pulls closer to you, and then you just like give him an elbow, and his head pops off.
Love it. And
He booped the snoot.
yeah, I booped the snoot. And let's see, I'm gonna do the same thing to him I did to the other one, where I take a leg and shove it out. So if they come back, they can't move
Okay.
as easily. I guess they could hop. And yeah, that'll be it for now. I'm gonna I already used my I don't want to use my movement at this time. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out for anything coming from other decks to where I am, and that's gonna be it.
Okay.
Well, I'll poke one.
You may.
Or not.
Oh no. It's
Well, either
it's
way.
it's just way down like the stairs. It's hard for you to like extend and get at him.
Yeah.
You're fighting like those stairs aren't really stairs. It's almost like vertical, you know? It's not quite a
Mhm.
ladder. It's real awkward.
Yeah, it's a steep flight of stairs or a steep ladder, either way.
All right.
But yeah, I'll hold this position. That way they can't get past me as easily.
So be it.
So I would probably get up to the gun deck at this point, having said I was getting out of the hold before.
Yes, I believe you could do that.
So we're to clarify, our ship is like it's got like a top deck, this gun deck, then the hold.
Yeah, it's a brigantine. It has a hold, a gun deck, and then at the waist, there's the deck, and then there's like platform at the fore and aft.
Okay. So normally, like in combat, there would be the other rest of our crew manning the guns at this point.
Really, most of that stuff is just happening in the background since you guys are not commanding anything in the ship.
Okay, but they're not gone. They are actually manning the guns. The guns are out and actually shooting.
Yes. So you would know in a storm like this, it's pretty much all hands on deck. The only reason you guys are below is because someone has to man the pumps, and you guys got the shit duty.
Right. It was more just making sure we're not alone on the ship.
Not yet, but the amount of blood that's pouring down between the boards, it's getting that way.
Okay. Are there any skeletons on the gun deck?
Here's a quick map. There are no
Huh.
more skeletons on the gun deck, or but down below in the hold still.
All right. So down in the hold, can I see any of them from the top of the stairs into the gun deck?
Um, I imagine you can because they're all crowded at the bottom. It might be a little hard to like get at them because you're looking over the tops of everybody's heads.
It's all right. I got a smart weapon as I summon another skull.
Okay.
Uh so is that fumble or can't remember what a
Fail, I think.
that's just a failure. Okay. So yeah, it misses.
Okay.
And I yell to Lobster Legs. We are being boarded in the hold. We could use some help.
I think Lobster Legs hears you.
Sent, I believe you still need to go.
I spend this turn reloading.
Oh yes, I forgot. Okay. So at this point, uh, much of the screaming stops. The cannon fire has also gone quiet. They might be reloading at this point. Uh, and then you hear, uh, well, it's hard to hear much more the waves and wind actually. So probably you hear very little. I will say there's probably enough holes in the side of the ship at this point that you can tell that the galleon seems to be veering away slightly, like it's veering further away from your ship.
Aegis sail drive by.
Okay, sounds like it. Or drive-by boarding.
The three skeletons down below are still going to be attempting to do harm, so they uh, they will attack the gentleman guarding the stair. This is a
All
narrow
right.
space, and at this point, I think probably since the Frenchman has moved up a little, you didn't really move, so it's probably easy enough for you to like take 2 or 3 steps, like half steps up, and get to a point where they can't all attack you at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, like my intention was to be at the base of the stairs and then move back and pull them into single combat.
Yeah.
Once everybody was clear
it's
of
definitely
me.
your intent, so I'm just gonna say that happens. Um, yeah. So you will take one attack.
All right.
I believe
He
that is
missed my
a success
ankles.
for you. Yeah.
X.
Okay. And then another sneaky one's gonna run around under the ladder and attempt to attack you from directly below.
That one got me.
You were so focused on the one in front of you. Roll d6.
That hurt a little.
Okay. Yeah, he stabs you in the foot, and the blade comes up through the top of your foot, and through your shoe if you're wearing a shoe.
I would imagine common clothes comes with boots.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So that's unpleasant. That's really unpleasant. Um, and then he removes the sword, which is even more unpleasant, really. But yeah,
I'm
you're
really,
good.
I'm really tempted to use my helmet's features because of the amusement of the impossibility of it. I have the Conquistador helmet. I can cause the helmet will break and I can ignore all the damage from one attack. Get stabbed in the foot, helmet breaks, doesn't hurt me.
That would be strange.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm not going to, but alright, I take some damage.
Okay.
Wait, where is he getting stabbed in the foot from?
Beneath.
Yeah,
The blade
the hole.
pushes you up into the ceiling, and the helmet breaks as you hit your head.
there you
I have well-made shoes, apparently.
Diamonds
I don't
and
know. I
souls
think
are
I'd
the
rather just keep the
shoes.
-1 damage from the helmet overall.
Mm.
Seems reasonable. You don't know when you're going to get another one. Okay.
Besides, if this character dies, the helmet still exists for somebody else to wear.
Mm.
The skeleton, you can't see what he's doing, but you can kind of hear like a sound of. It sounds like somebody chopping down a tree, actually. Yeah, it does. It's somebody chopping down a tree.
As a shipwright, does that sound like they're
You hear
damaging something
water too. You hear the sound.
significant on the ship?
Yeah, you hear the sound of an axe hitting wood, and you hear the sound of water pouring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably not good.
No, we should probably go back down there. Our turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Alright. Flop Sterling, you joining me?
I think so. We heading back
Alright.
down there,
Yep. I am going to
and that's where that tree chopping sound was coming from.
I believe so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, so there's 2 in front of me, one that can reach me, one that can't. Could I don't know, not like I don't want to, attack to deal damage, but I want to use my boarding pike to push both of them back to give space to other people to get down here.
Yeah, use the butt.
Well, more like the clothesline method.
Or that.
I'm gonna say they're not exactly heavy, so you can just do that as part of your movement.
Okay, so I can just shove the 2 of them back and give room for Gonzalez to get down here.
In this instance, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's just my movement, then I will I'll poke that bastard on the stairs. I should be able to reach him.
Yeah,
10-foot
absolutely.
reach.
Very good. You. What are you poking him with?
Boarding pike.
Oh, very good. Well, you stick him right through the mouth, and now his skull is detached and on the end of your pike.
Excellent. Now I have a bludgeoning weapon as well.
But he collapses onto the floor as soon as his head comes off.
All right.
Although he does like angrily try to bite the pike before like I would say the light fades from his eyes, but like he just kind of goes limp
He angrily chews on it with it in his mouth.
briefly. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's me. Room for Gonzalez to move down. Or Gonzalo.
You can just call me Lobster Legs. Well, was that it?
Oh, that
It's
was my
done.
turn. Yeah.
It's your turn.
Haven't I already gone this round? I
No.
thought I went first.
No, the
Oh,
the
they basically
oh,
didn't
right,
have
they
the
had a
hostels
turn.
didn't
Yeah.
have a long turn. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, I would have followed him down here, so that's my movement.
Okay.
How many skeletons that remain here in one piece?
Um. So there are still two. The one under the stairs is no longer in one piece. The other two are in one piece.
Okay, are they side by side or apart or what?
One of them is facing away from you. He appears to have picked up an axe somewhere and is hacking at the like hull, and the other one is facing your compatriot with the boarding pike.
Well, he's got a handle on that one. So I would like to get the drop on the one attacking the hull, because he has his back to me. Does that make hitting him any easier?
Sure, I will adjust the DR -1, so you need a 9.
All right. Yep, then I will attempt to, not really, yeah, I guess sneak up on him and hit him with my cutlass. Ooh, but I miss somehow.
So he gets a really good swing on the hull, and like a spout of water shoots out and hits you in the face right as you're about to swing.
Oh no, I get the floral lapel. All right, well that's it for me.
Okay.
I'll go next. Hey,
Give
Jaws.
some more.
Mhm.
What are you doing?
Is the skeleton I shot at before still around?
Yeah, the one down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to shoot at him again, but since I have the focused aim feature, it's a -4 DR to hit.
Okay, so you need an 8. Or you need a 7, actually, because he's still facing away.
Whoops.
I hope you make a 7.
Ah, I do.
He could hit anybody on the whole ship with that roll.
Oh, my. So his head
He ain't walking away
explodes.
from that.
Yeah, you shoot him in the back of the skull, and his skull
I
basically,
JFK'd him.
yeah, it's not a pretty time. Yep. His axe is still stuck in the hull.
Good to plug the hole he made.
Then I'll
One of
start
them,
going
yeah.
for the reload.
Okay.
That leaves under.
Yep. And I go down the stairs, and I see one.
Yeah, there's still one there.
I try to bop it with the belaying pin.
Okay.
I do not, in fact, bop it.
No. No, you basically you swing at him and you basically play cage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you're obviously French, right?
Oh.
The
Disgustingly French.
He attacks you.
Oh no.
Damn it, now I'm gonna have to kill this skeleton. And now I'm gonna feel bad about it.
Oh no.
Okay. Roll
Well,
a
under
d6.
dice.
Roll do what?
A d6. If you have armor, now would be the time to also subtract whatever that is.
I put my helmet on his head.
I have no armor.
That is unfortunate.
Uh,
You do have Devil's Luck.
I am going to do the Devil's Luck, which I think is lower damage dealt to you by a d6.
Yes.
Well, I'm at -2 hit points.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
head dead?
I'm gonna cap it at 0 because I like to have the opportunity for you to be maimed instead because that's very thematic. So you're at 0 hit points. Go ahead
Okay.
and roll for how maimed you are.
All right. What roll is it?
It's a
D6.
D6. Okay, well, you have a minor brain injury, and you're out for the next hour. So good luck getting out of the hold as it fills with water.
Yeah, I just go, oh, no. And
And you're going to have -3 presence for a D8 days, so you can roll that. I don't know that you're going to live for a D8 days, but you know. Okay,
next
it's going to be a
week.
week. That'll be good.
I say that's
Is everybody?
I think that's just the one guy here, nothing else happens
Okay.
except for him booping Edmund.
The skeleton is going to go ahead and attack the man with the boarding pike.
Didn't he just attack Edmund? Or is there another hostile?
Oh, you're right. Why did I think that? I thought it was a fumble for some reason. I put it in my head that it was a fumble. No. You're good. Go next. You guys go.
Well, I will poke him with the stick. I will miss him with the stick.
You do in fact miss him with the stick. That's unfortunate. I guess you go to swing on him and then this Frenchman just like collapses and almost knocks you over.
And then I'd like to do that if possible by backing up at the same time. Are there opportunity attacks really or not really?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to back up so that way I am not engaged in melee with him.
Okay.
That way Gonzalo can have his little one-on-one with him.
Ah. Well, what happened to the one I tried to hit in the back?
His head got blown off.
Oh,
yeah,
right, that was
your
that one.
sniper shot him.
Excellent work. Well, I'm gonna go to the other one, and since he is alone,
He's
gonna...
also like you're behind him too.
Oh, wonderful.
Because
yeah,
you
then
had to pass him to get to everybody else. Or
These,
to get to the other guy.
these skeletons don't seem to be terribly bright. Well,
Oh, they're covered in soot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, they're more done, aren't they? But anyway, I'm about done with this one, so I'm gonna try to cutlass him in the back. Which hits, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
For 5 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you sever his spine, and he doesn't do so good with that. He kind of like hops a little bit, and then just kind of like slides off your blade and shatters against the deck.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the last skeleton.
How's our water line looking?
Not great. That hole is now like gushing water. Not to mention the opposite side, and that's much lower, and that's just pumping water in.
All right. Well, we need pitch, nails, and planks. Where are they?
Well, get the supplies.
They're down here with you, but they're
supplies!
underwater.
Oh, that's not going to be good for the pitch.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, Wilhelm and I can start hammering away.
But before I do that, would is there a way to bring like if I have a medical kit, can I get Blue back on his feet, or is he just out?
Medical kit? What are we talking about?
Well, didn't Under's character get like knocked out or something?
Yeah, he's unconscious right now.
Yeah, can I bring him back, like to consciousness?
Probably not. I mean, do you know how
Okay.
to bring somebody back from unconsciousness?
I don't think I would expect someone who just took the kind of wound he just did to be alive.
Like something really fucked up. He hit his head really hard. That's not good.
Oh, wait, was it just like a bonk on the head, or did he like take a sharp implement in there?
No, I mean, I think he took a like a rusty dull sword to the head, and
okay.
it's definitely bleeding, and he's definitely been harmed, but
He might be okay. Let's get him one deck up so he doesn't drown.
Well, if you can do that, I'll help Felon here patch the sheep.
Yeah, I'll look and see if there isn't any spare pitch around. Like if maybe somebody was patching something upstairs and they brought a keg of it with them or something.
Well, I'll alternate between running the bilge pump and doing some ship riding.
Gentlemen, you don't have time to get very far before you hear a familiar shouting, "Brace!
Oh.
All hands brace!" And then there's this loud cracking sound. Um, and basically, right as you're putting a board to patch the hole where the axe is, um, there is no ship there. Like all of a sudden, instead, there's a rock there, and also, uh, yeah, everything sucks all of a sudden, and it's dark and cold and wet, and you're
You dropped.
I dropped,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that you're.
Dark,
uh,
cold, and wet, and then
and you're
nothing.
underwater. You are
Ah, oh.
now very underwater. Um, so everybody who was in the hold, um,
Is to practice their
pitch
swimming
black.
skills.
It's pitch black, um, and you're probably unconscious. Um, if you were on the gun deck, um, you are still probably conscious, but not happy. By the way, uh, the ship is you're still flying half a ship.
Was I on the gun deck?
Yeah, you went up.
I was going up.
Yeah. So you lift your leg just as a giant like rock cuts through the hold, and the whole ship like basically cracks in half after that.
Ah, well, it's good these rocks are here. How is there? Well, the ship is cracked in half, but I can see this big rock that has interrupted the continuity of our vessel. Are there any places where one could gain purchase of it? I imagine it's pretty wet.
It is a jagged, wet rock, um, and it's sticking up probably 20 feet.
When you say jagged, does that mean like a spike, or
Yeah,
is it all slope, or are there any flat
it's
parts? Or
pretty much all slope.
okay. Now, is it rough enough that you could pull yourself up on it, or
Um, I mean, it's not impossible, but it would suck. It would not be easy, and
hmm.
yeah, there's a much higher chance you're going to end up swimming
Yeah, okay.
or like impaled.
I don't think the rock is gonna help. So
There's
let's see.
another rock.
And does that other rock look any different?
I don't know. It's coming up really fast.
Ah, we're still moving. Wonderful.
And yeah, so the ship hits that, or the back half of the ship hits that, and it's breaking up. And all of a sudden, what's left of the ship that those of you that are conscious are standing on is pretty much at water level, and it's still pouring rain. And then you get hit with a 30-foot wave.
Mm.
I'm quite sure there's only one of us conscious at the moment.
Yep, just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, we just got hit with a 30-foot wave, so it sounds like I'm dashed into the rocks to my death.
sounds like it. It sounds like. Um, but you were expecting. Um, all of you gentlemen wake up on the beach.
Mm.
Um,
Well,
There are gulls pecking at you.
No, that is not the cheese.
I like to grab the one that's pecking at me.
Okay. Yeah, make an attack roll.
Would this be more of an agility to snatch it?
No. It's a melee attack. That's not very successful. It flies away. There's quite a few in the air. When that one gets spooked, the rest of them fly off. All of you are very, very unhappy lying on the beach. Uh, and I think everybody at this point probably wakes up. Shockingly, even the Frenchman.
This fucking sucks. Where in the fresh hell are we?
This looks like Florida.
Still alive somehow.
To you, that's correct. Yeah, you're pretty sure. It would help if you knew where you were for like the entire last day that you've been battling the storm. Um, but mostly you've been down below, and also like, you know.
Did we know
the-
where we were the previous day, or have we sort of been ignorant of our heading for
So
a
you've
while?
been going back and forth across the Bahamas. Um, 3 weeks out of Nassau, but you haven't really gone in a straight line. You've gone back and forth a bit. So you're probably from Nassau, but that's about all you know.
Oh, it's all like this is gonna end up being a headache.
Well, with any luck, we're only a few miles from Key West.
You start scouring the beach for stuff that washed up.
I start scanning the horizon for any nearby land masses.
Okay. From here, all you can really see is sea.
Hmm.
It looks like uh, wherever you are, there's a hill. You don't see any trees. It's all just kind of thick scrub. Uh, and
That's
there's a
about what
big,
I'd expect to find at the beach. It's usually sand, a scrubby hill, sand dunes, and then
yeah,
after that,
it's pretty much
something
it.
else.
You could see that there's out. You can see a few of those rocks that you're pretty sure you were dashed on. Um, you'd have to swim out to them. It's honestly a miracle you made it here. And you can see there's some bits of debris on the beach. Um,
And any larger pieces of our ship still afloat or beached or anything?
from where you're standing, you don't see any larger pieces. Um, you do see a lot of planks. There's a little bit of sailcloth, a couple barrels.
Ooh, I go over to check the barrels to see if they're barrels of rum.
What is the rum always gone?
Exactly.
We'll gather up all the
Uh,
supplies and put it all in one area, everything that we can scour.
all right, that's fair. One water barrel. It's got enough water for 4 days. Um, for the entire party plus probably one or two people. Um, there's a rum barrel. It's probably enough to get everyone wasted.
Yeah, like enough rum for 4 days or thereabouts.
Well, no, not at the rate you're likely to drink it. At a reasonable, responsible rate, yeah, probably.
But at our rate, more like 4 hours.
Yeah, there's probably enough here to get everybody drunk twice. That's it. Now, there's enough wood and sailcloth here. You could probably make a raft or a shelter, uh, but there's not really enough to do both.
What time of day is it?
Um, it's morning, but not early morning. So, hazarding a guess, probably between, uh, you know, that's probably close to 10 a.m. But there's a lot of give and take. You could just kind of tell by the heat.
Well, perhaps we should partake of the rum and then check inland a bit and see if there is any civilization.
Yeah, I'll go with what the Frenchie says.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And thus we partake of the rum.
Mm.
So drinking healing. Um, it's not free health. So let's see.
Are you saying I've been at 0 hit points this whole time?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
Okay, so this is toughness with a DR of 8 plus the number of drinks you've had in the last hour, and you'll heal a D4 HP. If you fail, you're not going to heal, and you're going to be vomiting, uh, and your agility is going to go down. That one's not if you fail. That one's just your agility goes down for an hour by 1.
So we're making a toughness roll, trying to beat
An 8.
what? An 8.
Well, I overheal a bit, but I get my hit point back.
Nope.
Okay, so uh, Wilhelmin cannot hold his liquor.
Nah, it mixed with a whole bunch of salt water.
So your friend is vomiting on the beach while you all get wasted.
Put it in the water to catch some fish.
And while he vomits up the lunch he didn't eat, I'm gonna go grab my DoorDash because my niece brought it up to me, and I have to go over there and open the door and get it. So you gentlemen get drunk. Um, that pretty much gets you to maybe 11 or 12 o'clock. It's about noon. You got half the day.
Now I think we should go and explore inland and see what civilizations there are.
Well, if we are where I hope we are, you'll fit in perfect.
I fit in perfectly everywhere.
This is acceptable.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, AGR is I checked my powder for my musket. Is that still at good, or am I just having a stick?
He did say he was going to go get his
Oh,
DoorDash.
I thought it was back. Yeah.
No.
As the Frenchman was confusing me with his plans.
Ha 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 ha.
Those conniving kniggets.
I appear to be having some internet issues.
These things happen.
Okay, so as I was saying, yes, your powder was probably damaged, but I will say that there was a little bit more that washed up that was somehow miraculously intact.
I was probably like sealed in one of those barrels. So okay, cool.
Hmm.
I just do a little topping off.
Yeah, 5-pound barrels are pretty damn rugged, actually.
So, do you walk the beach or do you walk inland up the hill?
We should probably walk the beach. That'll be the quickest way to find civilization and be easy way to get back.
Depends on the size of the beach.
I'd like to walk up the hill first and see our surroundings.
Eh, the hill sounds good too.
We take the hill
Let's
first.
follow the grade to the highest point, then climb a tree.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I began difficultly trudging up the hill immediately bordering the beach, held together only by the loosest reeds, completely destroying an ecosystem forever.
Yeah, that's about right.
Someone ought to build a fence here.
As you're climbing, there's some rough terrain. You're pretty sure you just stepped on a bird's nest, and then yeah,
Don't
you
worry, I'm sure there are plenty of those birds, and they have like all of this area to live in.
yeah.
Look,
It takes you about an hour to get up the hill. Um, you can see the island pretty well from here. It is an island, in fact, and it only looks to be about 3 miles across.
Oh, we're
Somebody
on
should build a
Manhattan.
nuclear power station here.
Farther north than we thought we were.
Mm. Ah,
This is even worse than I feared. The Dutch are over there.
Thought you'd be right at home this close to Canada. I guess it'd be the Canadian frontier, wouldn't it? Wouldn't actually be called Canada for another little bit.
mm.
So,
Oh, wait, what was it called back then?
3 Mile Island? I don't know.
No, I mean, Canada.
Oh,
Just the British Northern Territories.
It was called British Canada.
yeah, it
Oh,
was
so,
called
yeah.
fucking cold
British Canada.
and left well alone,
Mm.
except by people who had no sense and died up there in a frozen, hostile wasteland. Let's see. So yeah, you can see around the whole island. and there are some larger bits of ship. There's not anything super significant, um, but there's definitely more ship than you saw from where you were. Um, there are even some sections of planking where there's like almost a couple of feet of deck, like almost that's almost like half a raft. I mean, if it was just one person, you know. Um, and you're pretty sure like there's some corpses that have definitely washed up. Um, one of them appears to be moving and dragging itself across the beach.
We should probably go help him.
Yes. Go ahead. Go help the
Okay.
poor fellow.
I'll go check him out.
I check them out and you cover.
Well, I'm the one with the medical kit. But I can do that.
You're also the one with the rifle.
That too, yes.
I get close, see if he's safe, and then you can come in.
Oh,
If he's
take
not
you.
safe, you
It's
can
going to
just
take
shoot
you
him.
pretty much the same hour to get down the hill on this side to get down to him.
That's fine.
Are you all going, or are some of you staying at top of the hill?
I'm staying atop the hill.
I'll stay here as well with the mental patient.
Was that before or
Okay.
after his head injury?
yes.
The
So
real
you'll be
question
able to
is, was
see
it
everything that
before or
happens
after
down there on the
the
beach, but you'll be
Frenchman's?
an hour away if they need help.
Oh, it's an hour walk.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go with him then.
Yeah.
Better then.
I was about to make a joke that'd be perfect for the French, but well.
I'll say, is there any reasonable, like, we're at the elevation, can we see any reasonable clearings that are close to the beach but not exposed to the beach? That they could secure Overwatch somewhat?
I mean, there's brush, but you could clear something. It wouldn't be that terrible.
How about we'll just stay like 10 feet behind you to cover you?
Hmm.
Like what? Do you think stuff's gonna jump out of the sand at you?
Yes.
I mean, I don't
Then in
have
that case, I shall stay 20 feet behind you.
we only have one person with a ranged weapon to do Overwatch with. So,
Edmund technically has a ranged weapon.
what's his ranged weapon?
Ghostly skull.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Yes, but I do need to be careful. I can only throw my skull at so many people per day.
Yeah, the jury's still out on whether you can use the new shooting-based psychic weapons to Overwatch.
But yeah, okay. We as a whole get closer.
All right. You recognize the outfit now that you're a little closer. That would be Skaggs, the ship's quartermaster.
Oh. Well, if we're all familiar with him, then I don't think anybody would really stay behind, right? Like, if it's not a hostile entity, nobody's gonna stay back. Like, we're, oh, it's our quartermaster. I'll go to him. Correct?
He has like a large piece of wood sticking out of his leg.
I mean, I'm not exactly a doctor, but that's not supposed to be there.
You can't park here. I was more so asking for the people that were intending to stay back if they're still staying back. Since
Yes.
we recognize the guy.
Yes.
All right. Well, Wilhelm and Gregorio approach.
Okay. You approach the bleeding man as he pulls himself across the beach. He's just sort of reached the brush by the time you get down to him, and he's just shading himself from the sun. He calls out to you like "Ahoy!"
Ahoy!
Oyo!
I'll mosey on over, and I'll start working on bandaging him up.
Have
Okay.
to do something about that splinter first.
Yeah,
Well, that's part of the bandaging of him up.
he's gonna thank you. Um, he seems surprised that there were any other survivors. Um,
Yeah, we're surprised too. Well, no, it's crazy shit.
Your curiosity is how he got to this side of a 3-mile island when the ships were, dashed on the rocks on the other side. That's some interesting riptides.
he curses the undead under his breath, but um, you know, he also says basically, uh, you know, he wasn't expecting to be killed uh, by like the dead risen from the sea. He wasn't expecting, the sea to cough up her dead and try to kill him today. Uh, but you know what he should have expected? He underestimated the horror of a lee shore. The wind pushed you right into her. The rocks just stove you in. He's very upset at himself for being distracted by the the undead.
I mean, that does cause a good bit of distraction. The undead, it's understandable.
What of the ship that attacked us? Did you make her colors?
She was burnt black to ash. There were no colors to bear. No sailcloth, no ensign, no flag at all.
Can't be the Black Pearl. It's too far north.
Hmm.
We didn't see her till she was upon us in the storm. She were after something. What, I do not know.
Well, we're carrying any old cargo.
I thought you hung back.
I walk forward when nothing pops up.
I mean, I imagine Scent is beginning treatment for that leg as you're talking. By the way, treatment means taking the leg off.
I mean, these things happen. He'll be a proper pirate yet.
I suppose I should make you make some kind of roll for this.
As far as I'm aware, the only role for the medical kit is just the healing role, I think. Hold on. Does it say? Just says it has presence plus 4 uses.
I mean, it's expendable. Then I will just say it works.
That works for me.
That's kind of how Borg handled it too.
Yeah, he's only got one leg, but he props himself up um, against a rock with a little bit of the brush here, giving him some cover from the sun.
I'll take a moment to tie a couple of the boughs together to make a thicker shadow for him.
Yeah, he says, "Well, that's it, lads. We're done in."
All right. Well, on this beach now, since he's washed up over here, what supplies are available here?
I mean, there's more lumber. Um, it's it's definitely enough that you can comfortably build a raft. And you could do a small shelter as well. Um, it wouldn't be much. Um, I'll say there's where's it say? Hold on.
Well, based on what you're saying, is basically before we could build a raft. Now you're saying we could build a safe raft.
Yes, you
I
could
see
build. You could definitely build a better raft. Um, you have enough lumber here to build a raft with an actual mast on it. Take some of that sailcloth. You'd be able to move. Um, you probably have enough left over that you can use some boards for oars. Uh, you know,
All right.
and then you have enough sailcloth left over to probably make some kind of like very basic tent,
And then
but
I'll ask
but large
the.
enough for everybody to shade them.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I'll ask the quartermaster what our last known bearing and heading was.
So, um, yeah, he can. I mean, he can give you that, but it's pretty much what you'd expect, because you've been in the storm, and it pretty much spun you around like a top for a whole day and a half.
Yeah, but we only knew we left Nassau and then traveled for 3 weeks in a zigzag. He would know whereabouts on that zigzag we were before we hit the storm. So if we're north enough, we could just go west. Too far south, and we'd sail right past the bottom of Florida. And then, you're sailing across the Gulf at that point on a raft, you're dead. But we could connect with the coast of Florida if we're north enough.
He'd probably be able to tell you that you're somewhere around Rum Key. It's a small port.
just below the main port.
Yeah, it's basically a little fishing town. The uh, the ship you sailed out on, you gentlemen are definitely piratical, and you've probably done some things that are not so good. But this mission seemed like it was pretty much on the up and up. You know, it was just like it was an easy, quick haul. Uh, you were shuttling this like asshole from one port to another as far as you thought, and you were hoping maybe you'd finish up, you'd get to Port Royal, maybe you could jump somewhere else because it was kind of dead. You needed a crew to join up on.
Dead.
But yeah, and then you just sailed back and forth for like 3 weeks, and yeah, everybody was pretty pissed off about that. But yeah, you're pretty much in the middle of the Bahamas somewhere, unless that storm was a lot worse than you thought. You're
Uh,
definitely like southeast of Nassau, and you're definitely you haven't hit Cuba yet.
Yeah, so probably best bet would be sail
South.
north south? Due south?
Yes. Head for Cuba.
That's a long way.
Oh,
What's in Cuba for you?
Nothing, but Cuba is a very wide island, very hard to miss.
Skaggs is gonna open up and say, if you wait for better weather, when the clouds clear and the fog rolls out, maybe you'll be able to see.
You suggest we wait.
well, we need to build the raft anyway.
Oh, well, if we're gonna wait, I see no reason not to build a shelter first and then just take it apart when we want to build the raft.
Build the shelter with the idea of large flat pieces to break down and make into a raft quicker.
Yeah, I mean, don't do anything to the wood building the shelter that precludes it from being used in the construction of a raft.
Perhaps we should just set up as a large sailcloth as a tent on shore. That way we can just transfer the tent onto the raft when we make it.
Sure, as long as it doesn't get torn.
I'd rather keep the large sailcloth intact.
I don't think there's too much concern of it getting damaged. But, I don't know.
That's true. How's the windbound horizon looking? Is it dark where the wind's coming from, or is it relatively calm over there and dark where it's going?
So, it seems like the storm has passed you. Um, pretty much. I'm thinking, what is it? Presence is the closest to intelligence.
I would, based on the
I think
5
so.
choices that we have.
I would use
Strength,
that or
agility,
spirit.
presence, tougher.
Yep.
Spirit, yeah, spirit. Spirit would be a good knowledge-based.
I'll let you gentlemen make a roll. I'll let you use either one. One
I'm not
roll
good at
though.
either.
Yeah, not my strong areas.
Edmund, how
Oh.
good are you at waging the weather?
As long as it's just based on not what I can see, but what I know, it should be all right. How does the weather look?
Okay. So,
Well, that's good.
looking at the weather, you learn a couple of things. Um, so the the storm you were caught in uh, was like an easterly wind. It was pushing you east. But now that you're here, you see uh, the wind is heading uh, pretty much like southwest. Now, generally, um, most of most of the region is primarily going to have westerly winds, pretty much below the Tropic of Cancer, and easterly winds uh, more above it. So there's a line across the ocean here, and you have to be kind of close to it. It means you're pretty much right smack in the middle of the Bahamas.
Yeah, that's. I mean, my memory serves. It's the like there's the Bahamas, the big island. Nassau's like up to the northeast of it, and then there's a whole fuck ton of little islands out to the
Yes.
east. Okay, so we're probably
You're in
somewhere
the
out in that
yeah,
fuck
you're
ton
in the
of little
fuck ton of
islands out
little
to the
islands out
east.
of the east. Yes.
Which means what the quartermaster was saying is probably the best thing. Because all of those islands are relatively close together, so we could island hop, essentially. See what the next nearest island is, head to that one.
Sure.
So I'm imagining you guys are doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably building shelters.
Erecting a shelter, drinking more rum, building a raft.
Oh yeah, I need to roll for this round of rum. I need more health.
Okay. Yeah, drink more rum, please.
What does a critical on drinking rum get me?
Yay, more puking.
Wilhelm still can't drink.
Well, you're restoring health, so what does a crit do on damage? Or on an attack?
I love that you guys are just drinking. How much damage did you take? You took 5 damage, right?
Yeah, 5 out of 7. I only healed 1, so I'm at 3 out of
Oh, okay.
7
Yeah,
hit
then
points.
you needed to drink.
I mean, I can heal you when I'm done puking.
Well, no, I was actually asking if there was any mechanical for crits on healing.
No, but this one time, I will say, congratulations, your max HP goes up by 1.
Mm.
I have 8 health now. And then I roll in the d4 for... Hey! Now I'm back up to what used to be my max. Alright, back up to 7. I am good. Did my boarding pike survive the wreck? Like, do I have that, or was it just lost to the waves?
No, you guys scavenge up all your stuff. It's out there.
Oh, okay. Well, in my inventory, I do have a compass that doesn't point north.
Oh, nice. Somehow that makes it much easier for you to find all of your things.
I wonder how that works.
And then
It's unclear.
Well, that's the best thing, AGR, with this character with the idiosyncrasy. You always say you know the right way, but you never go the correct direction because you always get lost. Very Jack Sparrow of a character.
Beautiful.
I've expected it to be made of wood.
I have expected it to be made of wood.
Sea turtles, mate.
So yeah,
Yo.
you set up a shelter. It's got a back wall to keep the wind off. It has a roof made of sailcloth, and it's sort of framed out to be held up in the front. So it's basically like an awning with a back wall.
All right. And then yeah, any of the remaining lumber or empty barrels that we find, I'll start constructing a raft. And I do have the shipwright background, so I can build things reasonably well. It does some weird. There's a whole bunch of numbers smashed in behind it that I have no idea what they actually mean. This is what it says. I don't know what the times 10s is.
That's silver, I think.
It is silver.
Probably how much of like a ship's worth you can repair.
Oh no, that might just be starting gold. 2d6 times 10 silver, and you have skill with woodworking.
That sounds right.
All right, I got
Your
60
sheet-
bucks.
Your sheet didn't do that for you.
Nope. The pieces of 8 is empty.
Yep.
Okay.
I did not know that. I got 60 silver. I'm gonna buy rum. Bastard.
Wow.
He's not the healthiest of us, but he is the richest. That makes him captain, actually. That's old pirate rule. I forgot about that rule. Whoever has the most gold makes the rules.
Is this a bad time to point out that my character's equipment for a container is a dinghy?
Oh yeah, I know. Or equivalent. I had one of my characters with that for a background.
So, like, you guys build this raft, and I just like pull like I guess this ship off my back that I've just been using as a backpack.
I'm just gonna say all of your things just washed up on the shore on this little boat.
Oh well, that saves the trouble of making a fucking raft.
Well, it's a dinghy, not a raft.
You don't find it till the evening, so you're pretty much done building the raft by the time you see it.
Well, we only had half the supplies to build the raft. We built a larger than expected shelter because we're gonna wait for the weather to clear. So, but
Well,
regardless, saves me
we
the
wait,
trouble of having to take the damn shelter down.
true. But while we wait, I read the group pages from scripture, since I am a missionary.
Ah. Wait, what's Gonzalo's background?
Let me see here. Oh, that's not my character.
Also, I find it
The
wonderfully ironic
left-hand
that the
side, halfway
missionary
down.
is sadistic.
You're what?
Seems about right.
I am a hideously ugly, sadistic missionary.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, and I become a murderous grump when hungry. So you know.
That's good.
My background is that I'm nobody of consequence, except that I'm infested with bugs. I am always counting things, usually the bugs, and I narrowly escaped my death at the hands of cannibals.
You must love being stranded on a mysterious island that we don't know what the surroundings are.
A mysterious island with no sources of food.
No, it's fine. He just has now new bugs to count.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure there's fish and stuff.
Actually, all of the bugs might have drowned, or at least some of them. Hold on, let me get a count.
Yeah, I have a bucket. That's my container. Weighted dice. I'm sorry, no, just regular dice. You guys want to play some dice?
No.
And then I have a fishing pole for my valuable gear. I can go fishing.
So, Skaggs is going to ask you, gentlemen, as you're erecting the campsite. So, are you it? Do we know what became of the captain or that gentleman we had aboard?
I haven't seen hide or hair of them since we went under.
You are the only survivor besides ourselves we have found.
They've gone to God, sir.
He's going to try to stand himself up using a plank of wood, and he's going to look across the beach and say, "The gentleman had something of value."
Do you happen to know what it looked like?
I know he kept it to himself in his quarters, only letting the captain in and out. And the captain hasn't had us eyeball his charts for the entire voyage.
Well,
And he's just looking out across the beach.
are we gonna make this compass work that way?
It has to be an item you're familiar with.
Ah, true. Would I be familiar with the gentleman?
Um, you would not be familiar with the gentleman, but you might be familiar with the captain.
Okay. I pull out my compass and the thing I want most is the captain. Ah, that's awkward. The compass points at the rum barrel. I grab the rum and I drink the rum. Put the rum back. Thing I want most is the captain.
Yeah. Okay. So it's pointing down, like, I guess towards the north shore.
And back again. So have we found out what the man was carrying?
Well, I'm like fixated on trying to find the captain. So I'm just following the compass and going on an adventure.
Is
Let me
it
guess, it's
compass that
leading you
points
into the
north?
water.
Is it pointing into the water or into the land?
It
Pointing
seems to be
down the
pointing.
beach.
Yeah, it's pointing down the beach right now.
And what makes you think the captain is to the north?
Just trusting my sense of direction.
Now, if I recall, your sense of direction is that he never actually goes that way.
I have an impeccable sense of direction. I always know the right way.
Alright, well, then, lead on. Let's go retrieve the captain, in one form or another.
Is there something photoshopped into his hand? What's he got there?
I think it's like a grocery bag.
It's a bag of some kind.
Okay.
Very nice.
They gave the hobbits a bag of holding.
Mm.
So you walk until it's almost dark. So at this point, uh, you are probably going to realize you don't have a light source. I mean, you may have one, but you don't have one lit. And it's about to be dark. And if you don't turn around now, you're not going to be able to make it back to the shelter.
Well, I do pull out my lantern with its hour of oil and light it.
Okay. You're pretty sure um, that you have, like, you could definitely make the whole walk back in the dark with that amount of oil. But if you proceed, you might be out before you get back.
Go back and start out and fresh on the day.
Yeah. We better go.
No need to leave the Hobbled man by himself.
Yeah, I
Be
mean,
waiting
it's
to be
not
eaten by
quite dark yet.
crabs.
So,
Is
You know.
is the needle on the compass moving?
no. Well, maybe slightly. It's sort of like jiggling slightly. Very slightly.
As if a body would be bubbling in the water.
Maybe.
I think it would be best if we retrieve the body now before it gets sucked out to sea.
I'm just going this way.
We made our camp near the water. We can find it again just as easily.
Okay.
I'm sure nothing will happen to our poor quartermaster in the times we are gone.
Surely not.
And thus, I say we press on.
Okay. So you proceed northward. You remember this rock from when you were atop the hill. So, sort of towards the north end of the island, there's a pair of rocks out a little ways in the water. And there appears to be uh, a bit of wreckage stuck between them. Just a couple of planks of wood. But there appears to be some sort of um, there's a vague shape draped over one of the planks, just sort of hanging over the debris. It's this familiar shade of blue. It reminds you of somebody's coat. It's a very fancy coat, actually.
That look like what the gentleman was wearing when he was boarded, or what the captain normally wears.
It looks like the captain's coat.
Ah. I would like to swim out and retrieve him. How far is it? Which way is the tide going?
So right now, I'll say the tide is out, and with the tide out, it's not that far of a swim. Um, you would definitely make that trip in like a minute across. Um,
Okay.
there doesn't
So
it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount of danger in this crossing.
the wreckage he's laying on, does it look like it can be dislodged and used as a flotation, or is it stuck pretty good?
Um, it looks like it's wedged in pretty good. Um, and yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it floats. It's wood, but it's not a substantial amount of wood.
So I'd almost be better off just using my boarding pike as a flotation device for the body.
I mean, no, it's better than nothing. Um, you could definitely. I mean, it's going to prevent it from submerging if you can keep it balanced on there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will. I'll leave my boarding pike here. No sense trying to swim out there with a 10-foot pole. Or I guess what 8-foot pole for a boarding pike? Well, they're pretty long.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, then I'll grab Is there any stronger looking wood, or does anybody have anything that would be a reasonable pry bar to dislodge that scrap wood,
No.
or at least make dislodging it easier? Okay, then I will swim out.
Okay. Yeah, you swim out to him. It's not too terribly difficult.
I attempt to dislodge the scrap wood.
All right. Make a strength test. Yep. Uh, you manage to lift it up slightly, um, and as you do, uh, the body sort of rolls, almost rolling off, but you manage to grab the arm and swim it back to shore, uh, with that piece of wood sort of mostly underneath it.
Standing. Is the now that it's out of water, could we use the scrap as a litter of some or litter? Yeah, litter to carry the
Um,
body easier.
it looks like it would be really awkward to move. uh, it's like a piece of like hull planking and a piece of deck and a piece of the joist holding them together. Um, and there's a bunch of nails sticking out of it. It's, I mean, it's possible, but it might be easier not to.
Well, I can use my woodworking skills to reposition some of those boards around.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you can uh you can knock the joists out so that you've just got like the flat piece from the side of the wall, and then maybe rehammer a couple of those nails so you have that joist to hold on to instead of being in your way. And yeah, you basically have a sled.
That works. And so, do we want to head back to? I'm copying fucking Underdark's accent. I need my own accent.
Ha 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 ha.
Nope. No stealing mine.
I can't do a Boston accent.
You will all use the German accent.
No, that's too close to France.
But as we are loading the captain on the plank, I would like to search the captain for any valuables.
Okay.
Oh, you should do a Spanish accent. There you go. That's what we need, a Spaniard. Said no one ever.
I will provide you with thing. Hold on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you find what appears to be an empty bottle with nothing in it, um, in his jacket pocket.
He drank the good rum.
What else are you supposed to do with it?
Share
he's
it.
supposed to die with it so that I can drink it.
There's
He
got to be
did
some
not
kind
get
of
the memo.
pirate superstition about drinking a dead man's draft.
I mean, one doesn't waste good, alcohol.
No, I think if I were a superstitious sailor type and I found an unfinished flask of whiskey in the pocket of a dead sailor, I would like pour the rest of it through his lips. Don't want to go into the afterlife sober.
I mean, that's a good point.
Right, well, let's get the captain back to the camp. And we begin trudging towards the camp.
Okay. All right. It begins to get dark. Um, you make it probably halfway back to camp before it's pretty much pitch black and still overcast enough you can't rely on the moon.
Okay.
Are you going to use your light source?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys walk until it's pitch black, and at this point, uh, you can't tell what you're doing at all. You probably trudge on a little bit before the Frenchman flicks on his lantern, and as he does, you see a large creature, uh, seems like some sort of crustacean, um, slinking off into the water, dragging uh, dragging a corpse. It's one of your crewmates.
One of the dead crewmates.
Yes, they are clearly deceased.
Not the quartermaster, though.
No, not the quartermaster.
Okay.
Is it close enough that I could charge after it and poke it?
If you wanted to, yeah.
Are you gonna be eating good tonight, boys?
Meat's back on the menu.
When are we going to learn that trying to kill giant crustaceans never ends well?
I
Be
run after the
fine.
giant crab and poke it.
Okay, it's about the size of a jaguar.
The car or the animal?
That's a great question.
You should pick a different animal.
Ah. I see he drives a Jag.
5 to 8 feet from nose to tail.
So the animal. I gotcha.
The animal.
So what you're saying is he's running after this.
It's not quite that big, but yeah, it's something like that.
Giant enemy crab
Yep.
and all that.
Oh, PS3 memes.
Ridge Racer.
It is not currently hostile to you, so you are welcome to make an attack at it.
Oh, okay. I was waiting to see if it was a niche or attack.
You hit it.
Wow. I irritate it.
He uh he doesn't seem that concerned, but you do you, I guess, as he continues to drag that corpse.
Well, I poke it again.
Okay. You hit.
Wow. Back-to-back ones for the
Wow.
damage roll. Wait, can I devil's luck that?
Yeah.
So just D6 to modify the damage, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, no, max damage.
Let's see. It is. Yeah, you can deal max damage. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay. Is that with your pike?
Yep. D10.
Okay. Yeah, you jab it right in the mouth. It seems very unhappy about that. Um, I think at this point you want to roll initiative. Okay, it goes first.
I mean, that's fair. I went first twice already.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a defense roll.
Barely misses me.
That is fortunate for you. All right, it makes its attack, and then it begins to retreat back towards the sea, dragging the corpse.
Well, I stick with it and poke it again.
So be it. Hit.
I'm gonna use my other devil's luck on that and just max that. That's all I have, though, is 2 of them.
Okay. This kills the crab.
Sweet. Just drag it up on the shore and we'll come get it later. Like, not on the shore, like off the sand.
Okay.
Like pull it into the brush a little bit, and then we'll make our way back to camp and come
So
get this
as you move
tomorrow.
towards it to start dragging it, you notice it has a lot of eyes. In fact, you're pretty sure it has 1, 2, 3. It has 17 eyes, and they have this like red glow to them until you kill it. But then you kind of look out past them into the sea, and you see all these little specks of red light. They're just dotting the water all over the place.
Based
Eh,
on the scale of this one and the distance, are they close or are they just all around?
They are close enough that you should be concerned.
You're gonna
Okay.
need more parsley.
I need more butter.
They look like
Are
they're just far enough under the water that they are submerged.
all right. Are they moving closer or are they just chilling?
They haven't moved yet.
Well, I'm taking my prize with me.
Okay. Yeah, you drag it up. Make a strength test, I guess.
Might need help with that.
Yeah, you pull its arm off.
No, a souvenir.
Given that that's a fumble, when you grab its arm and start pulling, um, you get nicked by a sharp, like spike on the pincer. Go ahead and do a toughness test for me, please. Okay, roll a d8. Okay. Um, you don't feel so good. You lose 2 HP. You're pretty sure that thing has some kind of like venom.
Ooh, I can fix that.
Well, I eat the arm up onto the beach.
Yeah, you do shake it off pretty quick. You don't feel like it's got any like long-term effects, but
Oh,
that wasn't
okay.
good. It hurt a lot for a second.
Well, I grab onto the other one to try yanking it up onto the beach. I could use some help.
Like
Yes, I
emotional
suppose you
help.
should.
Yeah.
Okay. Between 2 people, you can probably just move it.
Okay.
You actually grab the carapace instead of an arm, so it's a lot more stable. You drag it up on the beach.
Yep. Get it up in the brush, off the out of the high tide line.
Where is the Frenchman during this?
Watching all this play out with the dead captain next to me.
Okay. You just hanging out in the same spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, that accent's supposed to be French?
Oui.
That's the joke.
Why do you think I have this outrageous accent?
He needs subtitles with that accent.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you've dragged the corpse up on the beach.
Yeah, we'll throw the arm on the litter and continue making our way for camp.
Okay.
And I'll help him carry the litter as well.
And I shall go forward and hold the lantern high and light the way.
All right.
And I'll make sure nothing gets us from behind.
You hear a loud pop coming from the direction of the campsite.
Like a gunshot.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, that's
Who's unaccounted for who might have just done that?
I mean, besides
There's
the
a
quartermaster.
quartermaster.
Oh, yeah. Just him. Oh, no.
I think the quartermaster has some company.
No, I think when we get there, we're going to find there's a sudden lack of company.
This
We should
will,
move faster.
I continue moving at my deliberate, stable pace.
All right.
We must look like a very out of place funeral procession.
Okay. So, as you guys proceed down the beach, these beady red eyes, they are coming up out of the water behind you, and they seem to be following you, but they're not getting any closer. They seem to just be maintaining the same distance as you walk.
Those eyes, they're following us.
Yes, well, if they get too close, we will eat them too.
Oh, well, this is true. This is true.
But regardless, we just continue walking along the beach, and eventually we try to get to the camp if nothing else happens.
Yeah, you continue all the way to the camp, and they continue to follow you all the way to the camp. When you reach the camp, you see Skaggs standing up, propping himself up on a board, uh, cutlass in hand. You can see his he has a flintlock pistol. It's on the ground, and there are 2 more of those creatures uh, dead in your campsite.
2 of the
Um,
giant crabs.
Yep.
Well, I see you've also encountered some of our dinner delivery services.
And he says, I, before collapsing and like convulsing in a seizure.
I go rush over to him and check to see if he got stabbed with poison.
Yes, he definitely, obviously got stabbed with poison.
I use the medical kit on him again to remove the poison.
Sure. He doesn't seem like he's dying, but he's also not waking up anytime soon.
Well, the important part is the not dying. No, Skags, it's not time for you to go see God. I say to no one in particular.
Right. Well, given that the excitement is over, we should begin processing the crab, and I shall begin making us all a very nice crab stew. With no spices, because we have none.
I don't think I shared. That's Skags, by the way.
Nice,
That's
quite
pretty
Neanderthal.
badass.
Lovely.
And I tell the Frenchman, please do make sure not to cook the poison. That would be quite bad.
Mm. Hey, given that Lobster Legs is very clearly from Boston, can I help in the production of our clam chowder,
Yeah, absolutely.
which
All right.
does in fact, or should in fact, have crab in it, or can have crab in it.
Well, I'll set about to gathering loose brush and creating a ring around the camp that we have set up and alighting it.
Very good.
Yes, well,
This
you see,
seems-
one of the reasons why I took up this trade is because I had to run from France. I was being trained as a chef, you see, and, well, let's just say me and the higher ups had a disagreement about what qualifies as cuisine.
So
Ah.
right as that lantern flickers out, you light up that brush, and it's a good thing too because those crabs out there, they like started to rush you as soon as the light went out, and they're like at the brush line when the fire goes up, and then they scatter.
One thing I will always do in fucking D&D, have a ring of fire around the fucking camp.
Burden, ring of fire.
Yep. So I will just continue. Like, I mean, I'm only probably doing like a half circle on the beach side, and then that way we can go into the brush and get more brush. Yeah, just
Mhm.
going into the brush pretty much until I reach the brink of exhaustion, and throwing more and more brush on the fires, making them
There is
larger and
plenty.
larger. Yes.
Okay,
Like
that
I'm talking
seems effective.
Midwest pallet fire. That's how much brush I want on these fires.
At least,
Edmund can cook in daylight.
at least we're not talking California brush fire.
No, there's no gender reveal party. We can't have that.
God.
But the sky clears and the moon comes out, and after several hours of this, and tiring yourself out quite a bit, I think probably while everyone else eats and goes to sleep, um, the spiders retreat just as the sun begins to peek up over the horizon.
Or, now that Gilbert's not here, the crabs are actually spiders.
They are actually, the species is called a shoal spider. They are not a spider, but they do have spider in the name.
Interesting. All right, well, now that we're bedding down for the night, I unfortunately also have to bed down for the night.
Fair enough. All right, it is a clear day. What are you doing?
Did the quartermaster survive the night?
Yes, he is snoring. He woke up briefly and went back to sleep.
I'm assuming Grigori would be sleeping as well.
At this point, yes.
A lot of sleeping going on.
Well, one of
Well, I
you
was the
almost
one
died,
tending
and
the
the other
fire.
one was tending the fire all night.
Well, yes.
Well, so I'm the only one awake then?
I'm awake.
So there are two of you awake. What are you doing?
Well, I think it would be a bad idea for any of us to go alone anywhere, and we don't want to leave these people unguarded.
What I would like to do is it's dawn, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'd like to take a stick, kind of put it into the sand a bit, and draw a line through the shadow it creates, and mark that as east.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait, that'd be opposite, so west. But yeah,
Good old
You
survival
can
compass.
determine which direction is east and west. Yes.
right. And therefore, we can sketch out a basic cardinal compass on the sand.
Absolutely. Easy peasy. You did it.
Great. And then I guess I would just like to take like a look around, never leaving line of sight with the camp, just to see if at the horizon at any point I can see other islands.
Not from down here.
If I go to the top of the hill, would I still be able to see the camp?
Yeah, you can see the whole island from that hill.
Well, then I would
there's
just
a
like to go up
few-
to the top of
There's
the
a few
hill.
obstacles, but like 98% of the island. Yeah.
Then I would like to go up to the top of the hill and take a look around.
Okay. Takes about an hour. On your way up, there's some bird's eggs. You find a bird's nest.
I take the eggs.
Okay. And then, yeah, you reach the top of the hill. Um, there appear to be two islands you can see. Um, one narrow and one wide. Um, they're a little ways off. They're at the edge of your vision, but they're both to the south. One is southeast and one is southwest.
Which one's which?
The wider one is southeast. The narrow one is southwest.
And do any of them have any odd-looking rock formations or other navigable elements to them?
No, from here, there's no way to. No, you can just barely see them.
Okay.
They're probably what
Horizon's 22 miles.
you got a solid 12 miles of sea between you and them.
Okay. Well, then I would like to go back towards the camp.
All right.
And basically let everyone know that's awake. Like, hey, got some islands. They're 12 miles off in these directions. The wide one, honestly, is possibly the bigger island, and therefore we should go there first. Best chance of finding useful stuff. Like civilization.
So, as you're saying that, um, you hear the sound of something scratching on sand behind you.
I look behind me.
That would be Skaggs, who is awake and he's rolled over and he's basically putting some dots in the sand. He says, "This'll be Conception Island then." And he draws two other islands as well. in a little triangle, basically, where you guys are in the north, and then there's an island to the southeast and an island to the southwest.
I see.
I'll just give you a map. Hold on. There you go. You're on Conception Island. You got Rum Key to the southeast and the Isle of Yuma uh, to the southwest.
Oh, so what you're saying is we're literally on the tropic.
Yes, you're basically on top of the Tropic of Cancer.
Well, then in that case, we should probably go to Yuma Island. And we should make ready our raft.
Yeah,
for me to
raft will
digging.
get you. A raft will get you there. Uh, but why would we be going to the Isle of Yuma? Says Skaggs.
Well, I assume the larger island means it's more likely to have, say, a port.
Uh, you'd be assuming wrong. Rum Key has Port Nelson, fishing town. They don't have much, but it'll at least get us back to civilization. They have a dock. We might be able to work and get passage off of that place. At least someone will know where we are.
Oh, well, if you know for sure that there's a port on the Rum Cay, we should head there. I was not aware you were familiar with the area.
He is definitely familiar with the area. He says there was a town on Yuma. No one lives there now.
Ah, that's unusual. Why would they abandon the settlement?
On account of the giant crabs, maybe?
That he does not know.
Or so he claims.
Or so he claims.
Ooh, insight check.
He appears to be a quartermaster, yes.
Alright, well then, let's make for Port Nelson.
Okay. You board your raft and make your way towards Port Nelson. It's fairly early in the day, so you have pretty much the entire time to get up there. Let's see, how fast is your raft? It has a speed of 1, so uh, I'm gonna say, even though that's a 6 mile hex, that because that's a 6 mile hex and not the like 50-mile hex that normally I would be using for ship speed, you could probably make this pretty easily over the course of a day. Now, I will say the wind is going to be more against you, so it will probably take you the whole day instead of part of the day to get over here.
Yeah, basically sidestepping the whole way.
Yeah, you've got to tack the whole time.
Well, we'll load up the crab meat. Couple of the carapaces.
And I don't
Indeed.
know if you can see, but Port Nelson is where that little flag is shown over there on Rum K.
On the
Rum
south
Key.
end?
Yeah. Let's see. Why don't we roll me a d4 while you're out on the raft? Okay. So yeah, you're floating your way across here, and the sun's overhead. It's getting pretty hot. I think you guys said you put up a sailcloth to help like give you some shade on the raft as well.
Yep.
So you're probably all huddled under there, and you do spot uh, there's a fin in the water, and then two, and then three, and then four, and et cetera, et cetera. Um,
Well, I would not recommend the swimming where it is now.
Yeah, not so good, no.
Oh man, I wanted to take a bath.
but since nobody seems to be engaging in any shenanigans, I think you're all in good shape. You all just sort of quietly sit, and one of you kind of keeps your course, and you make your way to Rum Key with relative ease.
Oh, good.
I mean, we got all the crab meat. If we ran into issues, we could just, offload it quickly. That would distract the sharks.
That too, that too.
No, not the chowder.
Well, I'm assuming you didn't make essentially 3 crabs worth of chowder.
So you make your way to Port Nelson on Rum Key, and it looks essentially like this. There's not much here. There's a couple of kids playing out in the field. Uh, there's a gentleman who seems to have set up a bar right by the beach on that little hut that appears to have the two peaks on it. There's a wooden, the only, well, there are two wooden buildings. One of them appears to be a church. Um, there's laborers cutting down some trees, and there's people fishing. There are two other ships. I shouldn't call them ships. There is a longboat and a tartane um, that are sitting on the docks. There is a maybe 50-year-old woman actually dragging the longboat up to the shore.
Do either of the ships have flags?
I mean, they're docked. They don't have anything running.
Okay.
You would know the entirety of the Bahamas is technically British territory. Um,
Mhm.
Although, you know, these people in this little fishing village probably don't really care much. It seems to be mostly. I mean, there's not many people here. There's definitely less than 100 people here. So
Right. But you said there is a bar.
yeah,
Let's head to the bar.
Arr.
So you're telling me we're going to drink?
Well, if you can drink, I'm going to go talk to the proprietor.
I mean, we can do both.
I accept this proposal. Let's see if anybody's interested in our crab meat.
That's what I want to talk to the proprietor about. Who other than a bar would want to buy this much crab meat?
Okay. There is a bald, uh, slightly round man with an impressive mustache manning the bar.
Greetings, my good sir.
Visitors, don't get
Aye.
many. What can I do you for?
Well, we seem to have run into a bit of trouble, you see, and, well, I had a bit of a run-in with some crabs. The bodies of the crabs we've brought in, and we're wondering if you might be interested in purchasing them for their meat.
I might. Let me take a peek at your wares. You have them on the dock?
Oui.
Yes, both of them.
They need butchering.
They will, yes.
Let's go take a gander.
I lead them out over to the docks, and the two, like, dead crabs next to this really ragged-looking raft.
What do you want for them?
Uh, well, if you're asking, do you happen to have a good ship that you'd be willing to trade for them?
I don't. The uh, only two boats on the island are that long boat there, and the tartane. They belong to uh, Esperanza over there. That's that woman with the fishing pole. She's a mite grumpy, but she'd probably part with the longboat for a price.
Do you happen to have an idea of what the price that might be?
Uh, she's not the reasonable sort, so I'd expect to pay a pretty penny. Good price for a boat like that's maybe 100 silver.
Well, then, thank you for the information. Returning to the crabs, how about 100 silver for the two crabs?
Uh, That's a lot of work to get them fit for eating, but well, I'd be taking advantage at that price. I'll give you 100 silver for the pair, and I'll let you each wet your whistle. I can see you've had a tough time. You can come down and have a drink at the bar. One drink, though.
That seems more than fair. Thank you for the courtesy.
Excellent. I'll take a larger glass.
And yeah,
All right, and so yeah, we do the business and then we go drink.
okay. It's basically just rum punch. It's just rum, sugar, and lime juice. It's not bad. That counts to heal if you're trying to heal.
Fucking
Oh,
finally.
wait.
Nice.
Do
And the
we
DC right now is 8 because it's
do we
been
get our
a
luck
day.
back daily?
Yeah, you've slept.
Is that a D4 healing?
Yes, it's a D4 healing.
I guess I didn't need to worry about the luck. My brain just caught up to what you said. The DC is 8.
Well, you did heal some.
I'm back to full. Well,
Okay.
said there's a church here.
Aye. There's not much of one, but there is a church. It's basically a little wooden chapel. The floor is dirt. There's wooden benches and a pulpit. You don't see a preacher.
That's probably one of the townsfolk. They probably don't have a dedicated chaplain.
There's definitely no place for a dedicated chaplain to live. This is a little one room. I mean, it's not much better than a tool shed, really.
All right. Then the other wooden structure is the bar, right?
No, the bar is that structure in the front with the two peaks. It's just a
Oh,
larger
the tiki
grass hut.
Yeah,
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 basically.
the tiki hut. It doesn't have a whole lot of walls to it. There's a
Correct.
bar in the middle, essentially. Okay. Well, probably should find some work.
Aye, that'd be a good idea. We need a new ship, matey.
Well, we can pretty much outright buy the ship with all the money we have laying around.
Good
Even if
point.
she's unreasonable.
My friends, this is not, economics Borg. I have no intention of paying her 1 silver for that ship.
So we're going back on the old ways.
Like, come nightfall, I plan to just take the ship and sail away.
Yeah. The old ways.
Well, then suppose we just spend the rest of the day drinking.
Well, I mean, I would like to, walk around and, talk to people. Not really caring so much as small talk, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep an eye on what that old lady was doing with the longboat. Because she was pulling it out of the water. Why?
Doesn't need
She
repairs.
turns it upside down and just has it sitting on the beach.
Ah,
The water.
I gotcha.
Storage.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then.
Is this the type of longboat that has a sail?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
collapsible.
Right.
I would hope so. Make flipping over mighty hard otherwise.
It would be awkward. Yeah, so you have met the bartender. He mentioned the name of the fisherwoman, Esperanza. Um, there's another gentleman drinking at the bar uh, that Juba, the bartender, calls Bottles. And Bottles has like long, greasy hair. And he's clearly like super wasted. And it's not actually that late, in the day that he started for sure. Uh, but yeah, it's actually for you guys though. It is getting late. Uh, Not only on the island, but also you're getting close to time for your game.
Yeah. Do we want to call it here as night falls then?
That's probably a good
Sure, the
time.
bartender is happy to allow you to basically sleep on the floor, and at least it shelters you a little bit if it rains.
Right.
That works.
Perfect.
All right. You should definitely consider what you're going to do.